I know it's a little weird that we're kind of just playing Broodscale today. I feel like it's a good time to play this. I've been getting a lot of questions about adding Icetill to Broodscale. Now, this is something other people have done, so I was going to try to kind of stay away from it. But I do think that, we were a little bit ahead of the curve on adding Icetill to Eldrazi. I wish we played more of that deck on stream. It ended up just kind of being like, it was a secret deck I was messing around with. We played it in a challenge. I really liked it, but we didn't have that deep a run. But I do think Icetill is like such a great Eldrazi card. And so then there's like this has kind of become a modern staple of the Eldrazi deck. And then there's just been a lot of questions like, well, Icetill is very good in normal Eldrazi. Is it good in Broodscale, the combo Eldrazi deck? And we've been chewing on this on stream a lot lately, trying to figure out is that the case? And thinking about it more, I just do think that the access to this turn 3 infinite combo gives you a lot of equity in some of in some of Broodscale's really hard matchups, like Titan. Lets you be like really fast, really aggressive, and if you're playing a more interactive matchup where the combo's pretty bad, like Boros or maybe Quantum Energy, you can kind of just transition into a plan that's like, I'm going to cast Mycospawn and Icetill Explorer and Quick Command and Emrakul and Glaring Fleshraker. And this is already kind of a plan that Broodscale has. Emrakul the Promised End is pretty stock main deck in Broodscale usually, where you're wanting to... maybe I should be playing a Shifting Woodland over Boseiju. I don't know. But you're already have like all of the types in the format minus battle. You have enchantment, artifact, kindred, instant, creature, land, sorcery, and so your Emrakuls are usually pretty cheap. You can fill up your graveyard really fast, ramp into it with K command, and then the Icetill really exacerbates this too. Where Icetill is like so good with Emrakul because not only do you have infinite land drops and you have ramp every single turn, you're also milling yourself really aggressively, so your Emrakuls get really cheap. So I think like just, and then like when I've been playing this deck so far, it's like this deck does everything. It does everything. You have your turn 3 infinite combo. You have your like double Glaring Fleshraker, single Glaring Fleshraker. Like this is just a must kill card. You have this like crazy land destruction angle with Icetill Ghost Quarter and then Mycospawn. You have K Command for like the best interactive card. You go way over the top with Emrakul. You can cast this card super fast. You have the Urza Saga Plan B. You have the Urza Saga tutor targets. You have Mycospawn for Bog. I'm playing 4 Boseiju in the 75. The deck kind of does everything. It's like, I know that this is a mono green Eldrazi deck, and so it's like it's kind of weird to call this Splinter Twin, but it feels very similar to old like Is It Twin, where it was both the best combo deck and the best interactive deck. And this isn't exactly that. It's a lot more proactive than it is interactive, I suppose. But this deck is just like such a nightmare to play against. It's tons of mana. It just does everything. It just does everything. So this is how I would build a deck. Another thing on like why we're playing this today is I do think like the Broodscale players have like so many different directions that they can go with the archetype. I do think that this is the best one. I've been getting a lot of comments and questions about like the Young Wolf builds, the Yawgmoth builds, playing Grist, playing like the Wall of Roots Young Wolf loop with the 2-mana enchantment. And I really just think that instead of going more in on the creature combos, it's better to just, let the creature combo be good in the matchups the creature combo is good in, play to that in those matchups, and then play to the big stuff in matchups where it isn't good. And I guess I should also say with 4 Ancient Stirrings and 4 Rumble, and the K commands, you kind of just get to pick your plan any specific game. Like you just have a huge degree of flexibility in your turns. Get this on the play. I'd probably mulligan this on the draw. Yeah, I'm not sure if we want to play a Woodland. Woodland does seem pretty good, but it is going to enter tapped like almost every single time. So just think about it a little bit. Bait Biscuit with the 46 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one today. I think I'm going to take the Temple. A little bit weird to say no to a K command, but the K command's not super good in this hand. I see Springleaf Drum is there reason to include it as a Saga target in a deck where mana seems maybe more plentiful. Yeah, if you're tutoring something off Urza Saga, yet you just need mana sometimes. It's really honestly not all that complicated. I know sometimes deck building decisions can feel like they're really intricate and complicated, but sometimes like the thing is it's like you can't really have this attitude of like mana is plentiful. I have all the mana in the world. I won't ever need a mana off the Urza Saga. in your Glaring Fleshraker, you have a ton of spawn tokens that tap to the drum really well, and that's the thing about tutor targets. That's the great thing about tutor targets is you get to tutor them in the situations where you need them. You know. Well, they ghost quartered me. That's insane for me. This is so good for me that they just ghost quartered me. Holy guacamole. You know what I mean? Okay, so they're playing Trinisphere. Let's go. Yeah, so I really like Trinisphere Icetill. This was something that I've been thinking about just kind of running back. I've been kind of saving it, like if we ever just really get lost in the sauce on a day, or need something to do. But here we're gonna go cast a Mycospawn, Ghost Quarter their land here, and then we can go Icetill or Urza Saga Icetill Ghost Quarter next turn. It lets your Icetill milling turn into a combo piece of attack. They're 8 forest. It's not nothing. Definitely tapped a lot. Yeah. That's true. I agree. I think we could cut the second main deck Boseiju for Woodland. It's bothering me I can't find the enchantments. Urza Saga, baby. That was like kind of the worst Ghost Quarter I've ever seen. I think they might just concede to this Icetill Explorer. The Boseiju can be some help also. Although I genuinely don't think we're gonna play much more of this game. Dude, we can get second Icetill down. They kept a card on top, which is why I'm main facing the Ghost Quarter. Nice. So up a game against Eldrazi, and I don't know. It's just like we just have so many angles of attack. So I'm going to end up cutting the Vexing Bauble. The Lantern is not nothing against the Emrakul. I do think I'm going to end up cutting it. I'm going to cut the Bojuka Bog, although it can be good against Emrakul, but I think I'm going to bring in the Ghost Quarter. I think I also want to bring in the Boseijus. Treat these more like spells than like lands. The Boseijus are more so for Titan, Tron, and Belcher than they are for like more normal Eldrazi. So it's possible you don't want to bring these in, but I think when you're in on the Ghost Quarter plan anyways, it's probably right. I could see the first Haywire Mite coming in. I could even see like the first Force of Vigor coming in on the draw. Possible that we could go down one of our lands. We could go down like a Urza Saga or a Forest probably. Don't know if I like that so much. I think I'm okay to cut a Forest. Let's try it. I do think having a Haywire Mite to like complement the mana denial plan is probably worth having one. Thief better than Boseiju. Well, do we think that they're playing Karn? So, like, the Boseijus complement the Ghost Quarter plan, right? Where you get to, like, just run them out of card types. They have infinite vegetables for Boseiju. They have, like, 6. We only have 12 total green cards. That's plenty. When you bring in the Force of Vigors, you have 15. That's plenty. Dismember for opposing Icetils. That might be good, yeah. Yeah, maybe the Thieves are good. I could see them being better than I think. I think I'm down to Ghost Quarter. The lab. They mulliganed here. If they had K command, they might be interested in like scry drawing and like losing the Emrakul. So I think we want to do this upkeep instead of main phase. Do I want to? I think I'm just gonna go get Forest and cast the Haywire Mite this turn. Why upkeep over draw step? Because I don't want to give my opponent the window to draw the K command. Like if their hand is like high on top end and it's low on action, then but they have a K command, they're gonna they probably will want to like float 2 mana, get the Forest, K command X equals 1, which is I think kind of good against me like stone raining myself on turn 1. So I want to give my opponent the least windows for them to be able to do that. Does the sideboard named Tuco make sense in land disruption matchups, or is that worse than extra copies of Boseiju Ghost Quarter? I think it's worse because you just have to. You only have 4 cards in your deck that's good with, if that makes sense. I think we'll be mana efficient and Boseiju. Again, doing the Spain phase because of K command. We don't want to go upkeep and then let them K command for like 4. As Hardened Scales, Young Wolf Cauldron, and Bliss have been explored. It's been explored, not so much on this channel, because I genuinely don't think it's the correct way to go down. Like, I think that with Broodscale, leaning more into the creature combo stuff is not the right direction to go. I think this is the right direction to go. Where if your creature combo is good, you have 4 Stirrings and 4 Rumbles and 4 Urza Sagas to assemble it and have this fast creature-based combo. The creature combos are really bad against like Quantum Energy, Boros Energy, Gorios, regular Blink, Control, just like all of the control matchups. Like it's really easy for them to have a lot of blowouts against your plan. So I'm a pretty big advocate for building the deck this way, where if your creature combo is bad, all of a sudden you're playing Icetills and Mycospawns and Emrakuls, and you're going way over the top of all these other decks, while you're still getting access again to these lower to the ground combos. I think a lot of people get really excited about the like Young Wolf builds, but I don't think that the Young Wolf builds are better. Yeah, this might be a matchup where we need to pivot into the combo. To get a Ghost Quarter, interesting. I'm gonna try to bait the Ghost Quarter on the Saga here. So they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could spend this turn Haywire Miting the Sprawl, and this would mean that they would need to have a land to cast any of their 7 drops. I think trying to make that happen makes some sense to me. Might be wrong. Yesterday for the Glimpse combo deck, did I consider building it with Resurgent Belief? I know we have barked down that tree a little bit in that shell. I don't love that it also like just requires you to have Omniscience in the graveyard, because if the only thing that you care about is having Omniscience in the graveyard, to me it doesn't seem like it would ever be better to play the Marauder build, right? Because you would just play you could just play Faithless Looting and Traverse, so you could have more woodlands, and like you could just you can really easily be more in on the woodland plan, you know. Okay, so they've got a Sire and they've got a Ghost Quarter. They're hitting me down for 6 down to 12. I guess our only play is to scry draw, chump a spawn, go to 10, and somehow assemble. Yeah, I guess we can find exactly Icetill and Blade we can combo off. Although I guess we don't have a payoff. It's gonna be tough. Well, these aren't combo pieces. This costs 7 mana. I have 4, 5, 6. So if I draw an Eldrazi Temple, I can cast that. Let's see. I'm missing, or am I missing any types? Looks like I actually have. I'm missing sorcery. Okay, so the Rumble is actually mana neutral for the Emrakul. So I could Rumble into Temple, I think. Although my opponent goes Rumble and they hit in Icetill. That is the card they choose. I don't know that Emrakul is very often even going to be enough here. Okay, so this Emrakul, it costs 7. I have 4, 5, 6. If I cast this Rumble, the Emrakul costs 6, but I have to find exactly Eldrazi Temple off this, right? Okay. Now, the Sire has Menace, so I don't exactly know how we're going to use the Emrakul to beat the Sire. I don't think it's particularly possible. We could maybe go Icetill Ghost Quarter themselves and see how they sideboarded, see what their build looks like. See, they've got their own. Okay, so if I can cast K-Return and I can cast Emrakul, that's enough to kill the Icetill. Can I do that? Let's see. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. 9 with the lab. The Emrakul is going to cost It's gonna cost 9 after I play K return. Is there weird clicking? I think it's my it might be my arm bar is like collapsing basically. Let me know if that fixed it. Okay, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I cast on their turn, who gets control? They get control. It's as if they cast it. Okay, so I can attack with a Mycospawn to make the Emrakul cost 1 less. So I think, am I just 1 mana short? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then this is gonna cost 8 plus 3. So I'm pretty off. So I guess we're gonna have to go cast Icetill Explorer. Why do you want to cast Emrakul? Okay, so the only way I see possibly surviving is if I can cast K-Return, flashback K-Return to kill the Sire. This has Menace, so I'm not able to block and defeat this in combat. We do mill another type here. I'll go, although it's a creature, which isn't actually helpful. I think we're probably just going to have to be looking at their deck here. Alright, so they've got 2 Maguses, interesting. 3 total Icetills? 4 Icetills, there's 1 in the yard. They boarded out the Trinispheres. They have 1 K-Return. So it seems like they're pretty weak to the combo post board. They just have 1 K-Return. Alright, let's go to game 3. Okay, game 3. On the play. So Dismember for their Icetills does seem like maybe something we should have. They only have 1 K-Return, so I don't think I need to be particularly afraid of it. Our Mana Denial plan is going to be a lot more effective on the play, though. Our combo should also be a lot more effective on the play. We could possibly still cut a Blade. We just have a lot of ways to find it. 3 is probably the right number. They're going to go down 2 Stirrings. K command says target player. They didn't have K command. They had K return in their hand. Not a super far off hand. With no green man, I think we should just mulligan. Okay, keeping this one. Go back the Emrakul, I think. Maybe that's not right. Seems okay. I was thinking about putting back the Mite and using the Icetill to try to get to the Emrakul. But that didn't seem right either. Now I wish I had put back the Icetill. I need some help from the deck. Urza Saga, Rumble, K Command, Prismatic Vista, Ghost Quarter, all pretty good top decks. That's smart. They did not have Kozilek's command in their hand, chat. It wasn't in their hand. Okay, that's some help. Thanks, opponent. I think it's a little too juicy to say no to. We could hold it, obviously, for the Icetill later, but if we need 1 more mana, we never draw one, we can just get the mana off the Broodscale. What about a deck similar to this, an Artifact Shell and Tarian Soul Cleaver plus Witness that loop Bauble's Mox? I just like Witness. We've done the Witness stuff. There is like a Hardened Scales, Broodscale deck that we've played in the past that's kind of similar to that. It's kind of interesting. And then I've been kind of thinking about playing that deck with Strength of Will. The thing is, I do think the Evolution Witness stuff mostly sucks. And if you go that direction, like you're not really maintaining any of the good Hardened Scale stuff. You're just kind of playing the stuff I think is not as competitive. So we have done it. I'm not the biggest fan. is the summary there, I guess. I think it's better to go after their colorless mana than their green mana right now. They don't put the Haragast back in their hand. Yeah, it's very funny for us to just be ghost courting each other back and forth. Kind of fun. Do they have their own Icetill? That's really what this might come down to. Although, 2 Icetills might be 1 Icetill. This amount of thinking probably means they have K command and they're probably going to go exile all of the lands from my yard. Which is kind of cool. Very bad for me. Wait, they exiled the Broodscale? This was not the right play, I think. We'll see, I guess. I think they play 4 basics. Oh. 3 basics. So they do have the spawns to maybe cast another spell. It's going to be pretty tough for them to get out from underneath this, and we've even got Dismember if they can find an Icetill, which is their best way to get out of this. Could have been getting more mill action. I'm actually intentionally not wanting to get more mill action here. I hate the rise of these Ghost Quarter Icetill decks. They are fun at first, but round 3 game of 3 of getting Ghost Quarter gets old. For me, I find this still pretty fresh, but listen, I'm the guy that's been playing, you know, the Boros Energy Titan format for about a year. Okay, do they have the Bog? I don't remember seeing the Bog when I Emrakul'd them last game. Yeah. Listen, I've been playing the Boros Energy Titan for Eldrazi format for about a year. I'm enjoying the anything Noom. Yeah, surprised that they're still playing since we have them just totally locked now. We're actually going to get them to be 0 permanence in play. Play Timeless. I actually kind of need to play Timeless. I've got a friend who's queued for the Arena Champ. I told him I'd test with him. Alright, my opponent has no permanence in play. Let's fucking go. Let's keep this on the draw. Can do go a few different directions with this hand. Did Chromox before of an every strip mine format? I don't know. I have very little experience playing with Chromox. I think I've played it with a little bit in Legacy, or actually a good bit in Legacy, although I was almost always more of an Ant player. Okay, they forced that. That's great for me. So I got the Saga in my hand. I was always more of an Ant player than a Test player, so ooh, okay. Force of Vigor, pitch counterspell into Steel Cuttered Bauble. Interesting. So yeah, usually I was not someone who's playing a lot of Chromoxes, although I've played some in Cube. Chromox is one of these cards in no banlist Modern that everyone's always like, all right, this is like the best thing to do in the format, but it honestly never really seems to do that much in no banlist Modern. I guess I'm gonna take the Forest. Pretty interested in just going like Icetill into Ancient Stirrings next turn. Probably looking for Emrakul. They've got 3 cards in their hand, although I don't know, they might just have Counterspell up. Maybe it's better to play the Mycospawn or make a Saga token. What's nice about playing the Mycospawn this turn, beyond just being better against Counterspell, is that we have the Spawn in play if we want to get Drum. I'm just going to get another Temple, because I do think that we're going to probably try to find Emrakul off Ancient Stirrings this game. About a month left till the BNR. Yeah, they moved the BNR up for me mid-honeymoon. you might get a I don't know if I'm bringing my laptop still, but you might get a from Japan BNR React stream. And maybe nothing will happen in Modern again. I could see them doing nothing. I think I could see them doing a lot. It has been a long time since they've done anything in the Modern format. It's been since the Breach ban. Okay, I'm gonna block. I'll be very surprised to see mutagenic growth. They heat my spawn token. If this is, just a trade, I'm pretty happy to. Nice. Happy. Yeah, I would certainly prefer unbans. Okay, dude, their deck is juicy. Yeah, this has been my stance also for a while, is that Modern isn't a... Oh, should I get Vexing Bauble? Let's get that Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I agree that Modern isn't a place where like bans are not mandatory. But I do think that the format could be improved. I think Modern is in a generally good place. It might even be like the best constructed format at the moment, but it just feels like it could be better. Although I don't know, I to some extent you do always run the risk of, when you make a bunch of changes to a format, having something like what just happened to Standard happen, where you make a bunch of changes, you feel good about the changes, and then all of a sudden the format is ruined. Although this effect is always exacerbated by a non or by by scheduled BNRs instead of as needed. Shell with the 15 months, think we'll come back. My opponent bolts me, I'm down to 10. And then they've got another Quantum Riddler to draw 2 more cards. It's the second Riddler in Warp now. Better than Pioneer. I'm assuming, although I'll say I haven't played Pioneer, and I literally have no idea the last time I played Pioneer. Maybe one of the RC Atlantas like 2 years ago. If Pioneer is secretly a oasis of good Magic the Gathering, it's unlikely anybody even knows. All right, there's our Emrakul. So we're gonna play the Temple from the hand. The Emrakul costs 10. This is 6, 7, 8. Wait, what? I don't have enough. Okay, the K command is mana neutral. I'm a little bit worried about a counterspell. Although maybe the problem with like casting the K command is if now me milling another K command off the Icetill is not an option. All right, so this costs 8. I have 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So let's try to mill another type. Yeah, I've already played 1 land. Okay, we milled another type. Great. Yeah, so we could have K commanded for more, but it just seems very likely my opponent's got a counter magic up. So I wanted them to be able to counter the K command, and then I could still have 2 mills at a free Emrakul. Although really I probably should have just taken the mills first, so that milling a K command was live. Okay, so we're gonna bring in the Cavern of Souls. I think I'll cut the Bog. I don't think they're playing Murktide, although I mean they could. We'll find out, I guess. I think I might cut second Boseiju. I guess the Ghost Court is probably not going to be that good, actually. So Haywire Mite over Lanterns, keeping the Vexing Bauble. Do I want to play Thief of Existence for Blade of the, or for Ori Steel Cutter? I don't really think so. Their deck doesn't seem to be super good at killing you very fast with Steel Cutter. I think just the Haywire Mite and then our normal plan's fine. Kree with the 2 months, think you will come back. Could you Ghost Quarter Saga? I guess I could have Ghost Quartered the Saga. That would have worked. Did I 5-0 with the Gloves Cascade deck yesterday? No, I think we 4-1'd. So I think I'm going to be somewhat interested in going Forest into Waste here. Although I guess now that I have Boseiju, I maybe don't need to play around Blood Moon as much by going turn 2 Broodscale. Although maybe I want to do that anyways, since if they're just going to pass with mana open, I'm happy to trade a Broodscale for a card instead of the Fleshraker, since I've got 2 instead of 1. Oh, sorry. I did think that this was a second Broodscale. That's fine. Now I'm kind of interested in going Mycospawn for Cavern next turn. Alright, they exile a Bauble to their iteration. They do play a land. They Bauble themselves. So we'll see if we get a 2-for-1 off the Consign, or if we get a 2-for-1 off the Mycospawn. We got game 1. You can actually see the up arrow on the game log. Shows who won the last game. Right, 2-for-1. Got the Consign out of the hand. 6 cards over there. There's a Charmal. Charmal really nasty here. They don't have land number 4. Let's cast a Fleshraker, I guess. Steel Cutter into maybe Bolt the Fleshraker. They're thinking. Maybe they have Bolt and Heat, and they're thinking about which one to use. They do decide to go for a Lightning Bolt of the Fleshraker. Let's take this hit of 4 damage down to 18. They've got 4 cards in their hand. Alright, and then let's slam this Icetill Explorer. Do they have the Subtlety? It did kind of say like maybe they had a Subtlety on turn 2 when I cast the Broodscale. I'd be kind of surprised if they had Subtlety in their deck, but it seems like they do. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on top. They're down to 2 cards. I think I'm almost definitely going to play the Opt. I guess they want to be able to trigger Steel Cutter on opponents' turns while they're holding up counter magic. Alright, so this is going to be 9 damage, putting me down to 5. Shout out Dolly Parton. Which means I can't crack a Vista, or I die to the... I guess I'm dead anyways, unless I mill a Painless Land for the Fleshraker, which I don't do. So let's go to game 3. Opt over Consider. Well, if they have no graveyard synergies, Opt is maybe better. Don't think I'm bringing in Dismember for Charball, especially when we're on the play. Right, let's go. Yeah, they could also be playing Considers too. I guess they have Heat, so they should be playing Consider, the 4th Consider before the first Opt. Could be like 1 Opt, 4 Consider. Okay, Boseiju's hiding, but we do have a green mana. Let's go ahead and keep. On the play for game 3. Down to Mold to 6. This doesn't seem like their 6 is particularly good. Our hand pretty weak to Charmal. Always tough when you see K command off an Ancient Stirrings. Surprised they don't have DRCs. I mean, I'm surprised that y'all act like you know exactly what their 75 is. I don't feel like I know what their 75 is yet. They might have it. So we got the combo. Am I making a token? Okay, not if they're playing a Charmal. Alright, let's see what they target before we cast the K command. They target the Temple. So it would be really nice to find a Blade off this K command so that we can get Vexing Bauble off the Saga. It does seem like both of these are worth keeping. So let's keep them. I think I might play around I might play around subtlety here. Okay, so I mean, we know they have subtlety in their deck. They have to have exactly subtlety to stop me from comboing them. If they do have subtlety here and I go for the Broodscale, I think I'm losing this game most of the time. And I think that if I instead decide to go for Icetill Explorer this turn, I think I'm actually winning this game even if they have the subtlety or not. So I think that that's going to be a good reason for me to do this. Then I think let's go ahead and play the Saga this turn so that the future Broodscale has the ability to combo still. Let me know if y'all are going to play with a lot of fear and terror in your heart like me that turn, or if you're just jamming. I also don't have Delirium to heat the Icetill, so it's like going to be pretty tough for them to kill this. I'm down to 16. They warp a Riddler with them having 5 cards in their hands. I mean, well, maybe they're going to consign to scam. No, we played the forest for turn so we could cast the Icetill. We did play 2 lands that turn. Yeah, I know Twitch chat says they always jam, but for real though. But for real though, are you jamming? You have to say for real though, or not, otherwise it doesn't count. Okay, so the Emrakul costs 9 right now. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6. So if I mill another, okay, I guess I don't even need to mill another type because the Vista is going to go to the yard, but I do mill another type anyways, which gives me that miscount equity. Yeah, the Icetill Emrakul plan is just so good. So if they have Consign, they're pretty screwed. They can't Subtlety because you got the Vexing Bauble. They decide to let me take their turn but not get the 13-13, which is probably correct. I don't really feel like attacking accomplishes that much. They could have Ragavan or Steel Cutter. Okay, so I can go Meltdown X equals 0 to get Delirium. Then I can heat their own Charmal. Do I also cast the Opt? I guess, why not? I could find a land and I could also cast the Bolt, maybe. Okay. So, alright, let's find out. Let's find out if they're playing Channeler. Let's find out if they're playing Consider. Dang, y'all are right. Y'all are right, no Consider, no Channeler. Opponent, I defended you. You can't consign fetch land activations. You would see that play a lot more often if it was legal. All right, so the hand is just a consign. Okay, so now we can get the Broodscale down this turn if we want. Too bad. Also, notably, they didn't have the subtlety, so we could have won that turn. But again, it's just like I think the Icetill also wins. You know, it seemed very tough for the Icetill to die. Maybe, although maybe they could have just bolted and heated it. Maybe they drew one of those for turn. Opponent's writing in chat. Good game, big fan. I'm gonna get 5 subs. It's gonna take them some time to compose that message, I think. Maybe they just want to see more of the list. Right? 2-0. We drew it to 3 years. Wowie, Maui, Zowie. Thank you for the continued support, my friend. I kind of feel like this deck's just nuts. I'm a Broodscale main now. I can try this on the draw. I think it's maybe a little borderline. On the draw can stay Arid Mesa. How does Supergiant do it, man? I don't know. I beat the base game. I can't really play anymore till Esther beats the base game, but whew, it has been so fun. You know what? Maybe I get punished here for playing the Forest, so I can't, because now I can't K command on a Johnny token. But they're Storm. So Desperate Ritual, Strike it Rich. This might actually be our weakness. But they do have like what seems to be kind of a weaker Storm hand, maybe. Our hand's pretty slow. They play Clover Pit? No, I've heard people like the game. I don't really know what it is. I need to go back and like 100% Hollow Knight also. I got like the bad ending because I was playing blind. And apparently I can continue and get a better ending, but then Hades 2 came out, so I was jamming that for a bit. Okay, they splice a Desperate Ritual. They've got 4 mana floating, and they have another ritual in their hand. There's the ritual. There's a Strike It Rich. Is it a dragon? Sorry, dumb question. I'm brand new to Magic. What is this? I play the Arena game, just started this week. Yeah, I know it's not very easy to know what this is because they don't really advertise this so much, but this is Magic the Gathering Online. This is the older client. It existed before Arena, and it does still exist. The big appeal to Magic Online instead of Arena is that you're able to play older formats, like the format we're playing now, which is Modern. You might be familiar with Modern. You can also buy and sell cards for real money, which is nice. I think the economy is better, the tournaments are better, but there's less zoomers on there. So they're going for like a natty Past in Flames, which is kind of hard to be super effective here. They have 7 total mana. They really maybe are just like in on this Rin's Resolve to like find them some action. Okay, so they probably just drew this Artist Talent. So this maybe gives them a little bit more filtering. They probably want to act. No, oh no, right? They should have activated this. This was mana positive to activate because they at the very least, yeah, they get to discount 3 things. It costs them 3 mana. So it seems like that was maybe a little bit of a misstep there. You think there's a shell of these mostly colorless green decks that incorporates Primeval Titan? They seem pretty analogous to the Cloud Post decks in Legacy. I don't think that Primeval Titan is ever optimal in these Eldrazi decks, no. Okay, they've leveled the Artist Talent now. They discard a Reckless Impulse. They reveal a Grape Shot. I don't think I'm dead to this Grape Shot, though. I have no idea what's Modern, but I've been really enjoying playing Rain Constructive and things like that. Yeah, it's also a 60-card competitive format. So like you might be playing Standard on Arena. So Modern is okay, they reveal a Ritual to Past in Flames. Modern is every set from 8th edition to now, with a few extra sets like the Modern Horizon sets and Assassin's Creed. It's those sets with its own ban list. Okay, so they have 3 mana floating. They can Grape Shot me and deal me. This format's like a lot faster, a little bit more synergy based, playing a lot of older cards and a bunch of like modern unique cards like this one and this one. But Ritual won the game. Oh, wait, did it? My opponent says, yeah, I think they're 1 mana short. They can go Ruby Grape Shot me, which is 19 damage, and I'm at 20. My opponent says Kingdom for 1 mana, but they could have leveled the Artist Talent sooner. I think to have won this game, right? They can Grape Shot me to where I can't sack my fetch lands anymore, though. And then they're going to have a Past in Flames in exile, which kills me next turn. So let's go to game 2. Okay, so let's bring in the Thief of Existences to go after their rubies and their talents. I have like Grafdigger's Cage plus Needle. Also, I tend to think that this is a good combo where you Needle the Row. I'm gonna bring in the Haywire Mite also. Let's leave in the Bojuka Bog. 2 Boseijus, probably a good number of Boseijus. Even actually, Boseiju might be better than Ghost Quarter. We can play the 3rd potentially. What's bad in this matchup? I think we could maybe cut all the Icetills. I think Icetill's pretty bad here. Yeah, Dismembers for Rouse are okay. I don't think you really want two. You could play one. I think the first one's probably good. Let me trim the fourth Mycospawn. Okay, command on Grapeshot was an option. No, I didn't have. I couldn't cast. I Ghost Quarter and played on Eldrazi Temple, but also it was in exile, not in exile. So we have both Emrakuls in our opening hand, which stinks. We have a Broodscale, which could be good. We've got K Command, which is usually pretty good. Y'all keeping this on the Play Against Storm? I think I'm gonna click the keep button. Uh-oh. So I guess let's go ahead and lead on the Temple, so that if they play Ral and we draw second Temple, we can K Command it. They Gemstone Caverns and print Arid Mesa. They have Ruby, not Ral. Could draw Thief of Existence. Could draw Haywire Mite. Instead, we draw a Glaring Fleshraker, which I do think we should play before the Broodscale here. But we might get killed on turn 2. This is not the most representative match of Modern bust, but this is a deck that can kill really fast. Is this ranked now? If so, what rank are you? Okay, so Magic Online uses not the ladder system. Instead, you use a league system. So this is a normal league where if you win 5 matches, you get a lot of prizes. 4, you get prizes, 3 prizes. These correlate to real world money instead of a rank system. And then there's tournament series also on the weekend, which are usually a bit higher. But there's not there's not an official ranking besides like the Mox leaderboard, which is only a handful of people. I really am not the biggest fan of the ladder in general. I think it's not a play experience I usually enjoy very much. And also what we like to do on this channel specifically is we like to brew and try a lot of different stuff too. Okay, so they have Wish for Past in Flames, for Manamorphose into Ritual, so they'll have 4 mana, so they can play a 2 mana Wish, but that's only Grapeshot, so they do need a little bit more action to get me here, right? Yeah, there's an ELO system. I'll say that as someone who has played a lot of Arena and played a lot of Magic Online, I think the competition on Magic Online is usually higher because you're playing for real world money instead of the internet points. Okay, so this is 2 more mana, although it costs them 1. So now they can Wish with 3 mana available. They glimpse into a Rinse Resolve and a Glimpse. I think they might be fizzling. They're so choked on mana. Rip Apart! Oh, I love Rip Apart. Although this card, it doesn't do anything here. They don't have the white mana. 3 damage to creature or planeswalker, destroy artifact or enchantment. I've always felt like this card should be 3 damage, destroy artifact, destroy enchantment. I always think it's weird that there's an or in the middle of the mode, because this itself is a mode. I digress. So they have a Grapeshot all natural. I'm assuming that 2 of these Grapeshots are going to go after the Fleshraker. And then they have no cards in their hand, and they're leaning on this Past in Flames. Now, at the moment, they cannot cast the Past in Flames. Oh, but they're going to get some extra mana from the Glimpse. Sometimes it's hard to tell what they've got available with all of the resolves and stuff. So I think they're getting 2 or 3 spawns. 2 spawns. So they have access to Rip Aparts, but they're not going to be able to cast them because we're not going to play a target for them. So let's go ahead and K Command. Well, maybe I'll make spawns. So my Emrakul is going to cost 9 mana after I play the K Command of the fetch. Then I'm going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alternatively, I could try to Scry Draw, and I could try to find more interaction for next turn, which I think is going to be more important. Oh, they could kill Saga with Rip Apart. Okay. Although if they kill Saga, I do get another type for Emrakul. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to target the Past in Flames and the Grapeshot, probably. I don't think... No, let's target the Ritual. They've got 2 win cons in the yard. Listen, we're growing the Emrakul. So because my Saga is gonna die, we can't go Fleshraker into Broodscale. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and bottom both here. Nice, good draw, good draw. They drew a Scalding Tarn for turn, which I guess they're gonna surveil instead of holding this for top deck artist talent, which is probably right. We do get our Saga ripped apart. And then they main phase Surveil, which they maybe should have surveilled before casting the Rip Apart because they could have found the Past in Flames. Although they just graveyard a Scalding Tarn. And we top deck a really nice Haywire Mite here. Let's just go ahead and kill that Ruby. Gonna make it harder for them to chain together like a bunch of glimpses and Rin's Resolves this turn. Very odd game. So they Impulse and they hit a... Wait, they hit Ruby Past in Flames? No, they hit Past in Flames Impulse. Then they Impulse into Mounted Manamorphose. Pretty scary, although with no rituals in the yard, thankfully we exiled the other ritual. We might be able to contain this with the K command. Let's just hold up the K command this turn. So they drew a Surveil Land for turn. They have 4, 5, 7 mana? Yeah, Emrakul costs 7 here, and so we're going to have 6. So we might actually want to scry draw with the K command if like if they don't play a ritual here, like the Past in Flames just isn't going to kill me. Yeah, like this is just not going to kill me. They have no rituals in here, so I think we just let them go Manamorphose Reckless Impulse. I think we try to scry draw into a land to cast the Emrakul. Then we can flash back the Past in Flames, and maybe we could kill them with their own Past in Flames. I thought about working on Red-Green Prowess with Abundant Harvest and the new Spider-Man Sleight of Hand red thing. Not particularly, I guess. I think that build is probably worse than Izzet Prowess. I do think that Heroes Hangout, like, it might be better than Preordain and Prowess. It's, like, really marginal. It's better against Bowmaster. The pump spell is sometimes relevant. But I do kind of think for the most part I'd rather play Preordain. You just get to see 3 cards instead of 2. Okay, so there's a ritual for next turn, which hopefully we're going to get to deploy. 3 looks at a land to cast the Emrakul. I guess we could also find... if we find a Rumble, we could keep Rumble to try to cast the Emrakul because we don't have a sorcery, and then that could find us a land. Okay, we find Rumble and a land. So again, the Rumble is mana neutral because it adds a type for Emrakul and it adds a mana. So I think we might as well cast it. We might get a discount. Although I guess we have max types actually, right? Oh wait, we are missing a type. No, we have Artifact. Okay, never mind. Max types. Okay, so I cast Emrakul, now I'm controlling their turn. Let's combo off. I think I want to cast the Past in Flames from hand. Oh, wait. Obviously, this first. So, I'm just going to choose heads. We did win the flip. Not flipping yet. Okay, so we hit an Artist Talent. Let's see, do we have the extra mana here? Yeah, I think with the Grape Shot in the yard, let's just go and cast this Past in Flames. We can't use the Wish. We're not allowed to look at their sideboard while we're controlling their turn. They're down to 13. We have 5 mana available. Storm count is 6, and we do have a Grape Shot in their yard. Okay, this ritual I think seals the deal. I think they're deterministically dead at this point. Our opponent agrees, and we go to game 3. On the draw, we could maybe want another Dismember because we just need that extra interaction more. We could play the Force of Vigors too, maybe over the Mycospawns. We'd have 11 green cards. Yeah, no Icetills probably means we can't play the Force of Vigors. Yeah, I think I'll kind of Stirrings for a Dismember on the draw. Yeah, fun little mini game. This is why to play this deck you have to be familiar with every modern archetype. Oh, sorry, I should have cut the Vexing Bauble. Oh. Okay, so we could keep this hand and we could lead on the turn 1 Saga to try to find Haywire Mite, Cage, or Needle, depending on if they have Ral, Ruby, or like more of a Past in Flames hand. I also like that we can play the Drum, then we can go Rumble and tap the Drum for mana. Boseiju. We have 4 Boseijus in the 75. 2 main, 1 side. Right now we're playing 3 against Storm. It's possible we could just play like 3 Boseijus main, but you do have to balance like, you know, your like your Icetill Explorer stuff a little bit. That's true. Bauble can prevent Ral ult. That's a good point. Okay, so they Reckless Impulse, they hit a Past in Flames and a Valakut Awakening. Let's get ready to rumble. So if I don't take this Mite, I guess I could Boseiju a Ruby or Artist Talent still. The Mite does seem just pretty good. Like I could play the Mite off the Saga. I think instead I'll play the Vexing Bauble this turn. So they have a Valakut Awakening that they could just cast if they have nothing else. Not very likely we die. They're thinking. Didn't want to see that. Although they don't have a Ruby or a Ral. They would have cast that before. Okay, they spliced the Ritual. So they're going to go Past in Flames down to 3 mana. Ritual 3 times up to 6 mana with a Reckless Impulse and a Valakut Awakening available. Not too scary. Yeah, Vexing Bauble prevents the Ral Ultimate. Which I didn't think about. I accidentally left it in and then chat reminded me. Alright, so they cast the Past in Flames from exile. They do have 1 card in their hand. They do still have Valakut Awakening in exile. They cast the Impulse. They hit 2 lands. You'll love to see that. Yeah, we should be pretty good here. So the Awakening with 1 card in their hand. They decided to bottom it, so they didn't like whatever that card was. And so if we have Vexing Bauble plus Grafdigger's Cage here, we're really well insulated against Sorry, am I making a Saga token? I guess probably not this turn. We're well insulated against Past in Flames and the Ral. And then we have Haywire Mite for Ruby, so we've got a lot of our bases covered. Although maybe I want to get Lantern instead of the Cage. I guess we'll get the Lantern. We might want to cycle this. Another Saga or another Temple. I think in this game we'll take this Saga. And then I think I'm going to just hold up the ability to activate the Mite or, so I suppose, Boseiju instead of casting this other Stirrings right now. So they've got 3 cards in their hands. We've got answers to Past in Flames. We've got answers to Ral. We've got Ral Ultimate and answers to Ruby and Artist Talent. There's one of those cards. I think just before my opponent can like do anything to loot, we'll just kill this. So we're at 22. They're down to 2 cards in their hand. We draw a K command. Let's cast that this turn. Maybe find an Emrakul. The Stormbound Wrath. I think I've never seen Wrath the Skies out of Storm. It honestly might just be really good. I've never seen it. They graveyard a Manamorphose. Probably would have kept it. It's kind of free to keep. Not a big deal. Alright, so they Glimpse and they hit a Wish, a Ral, and a Scalding Tarn. They play Mountain instead of Scalding Tarn. Hard to say why they did that. They play the Ral. So I was going to go for a spawn, scry draw. Let's just go and get this Ral off the field instead. Maybe they're out of fetchables is why. Looking for a Broodscale, maybe. We can get a Blade off the Saga, so we can just go ahead and bottom that. There's a Mycospawn. Maybe we'll make a Saga token at some point. For now, let's just go ahead and get a Blade, so I can try to find a Broodscale off the Stirrings. We do find a Broodscale. So we have infinite mana, and then we could cast and kick a Mycospawn. We could sack a Vexing Bauble, maybe. We could make a Saga token. I think we have enough mana for that. Not sure, but let's go and make our infinite mana, infinite power. So I guess I actually have the option between making a Saga token and casting the Mycospawn. I think I'd rather cast the Mycospawn. Okay, so next turn, my Mycospawn and my Broodscale can have infinite power because I can get the second Blade. I am just going to go ahead and make sure this is at least 17 power, so if they just have like an answer to the Blade, we at least have like one lethal creature we're attacking with. And as tempting as it is to sack these for a win con here, you know, it is pretty tempting. Like, I can die, right? Can I? Maybe I can. Alright, let's not. Let's play in fear again. You haven't pulled Scales in a while, so we're going to circle back at some point. We played Scales very recently. We played it with the Strength of Will combo, and it was pretty good. You'd sack the Bauble. The thing is, I kind of feel like I'm more likely to die to, like, them have it their hand. If their two cards are like Ral, Reckless Impulse, to me that seems like a way that I could die that's more likely than I just find a random win con off the one card, you know? Bauble's free. It's not free. I actually think that because we have the Graveyard Hate in play, Ral plus Reckless Impulse is like the most likely way we could possibly lose. And now we actually have 3 lethal attack. We have lethal next turn because I forgot about this. I forgot about this. This spawn can have infinite power also. Oh wait, no, it can't because you have to sack it to start the loop. Okay, well we win. Let's get a trophy prediction going. Is there any land we could get off Mycospawn that wins with infinite mana? Infinite colorless mana. You can get Crawling Barrens for an infinite power creature. I guess we bleed onto the Saga, so we can go turn 2 Fleshraker into turn 3 Springleaf Drum Icetill if we want to play Icetill. We also might want to get a Blade. Just got it from YouTube. Did I reveal the mysterious sponsor yet? Yeah, it's Abyssal Carpet Cleaners. We've done 2 sponsored segments for them. It's been awesome. They've discounted like 300 subs. It's very fun. Abstergo Entertainment, yeah. Yeah, I guess there's Inventor's Fair. You can go Inventor's Fair for Ballista. But you have to have 3 other artifacts in play when you get the Inventor's Fair. Okay, opponent's on a Mold to 5. We're on the play. Round number 4. Ivugan would have done it. What a card. So we're on the play against the Thundering Falls. Most likely to be Prowess. Could be a few different things, of course. Well, let's cast a Glaring Fleshraker. They tap out for a show off or a steel cutter, they die. When's the return of the Abyssal Plug happening? Friday. So if you want 50% off your sub, there's 2 more Abyssal ad read streams. So this Friday, next Friday, I'm just gonna do them in between rounds of the challenge, like we've been doing, which I think has been good for the general flow of things. All right, they play a Scalding Tarn. They go to their second main phase, and they have a good think here. Let's get a Blade. I kind of just don't believe my opponent has anything. I don't really know how you end up, yeah, I don't know how you have Lightning Bolt in your hand and you just pass when there's a Glaring Fleshraker in play, so if that's the case, our opponent has Lightning Bolt and they pass, let's just jam. Although, the problem with just jamming there is we don't know exactly what our opponent's playing. They bolt a 5, they play 2 Izzet lands, and then they conceded. So they could be playing Prowess. I kind of feel like sideboarding as if they were Prowess makes a good amount of sense. So Vexing Bauble stopping, Mutagenic Growth, Lava Dart, Bauble all seems pretty fine. Blue-Red Wizards. The thing is, if they're Wizards, we're just going to win no matter what. So we don't need to worry too much about it. I might play Cavern if they're going to bring in a bunch of consigns. Like Cavern over the second Boseiju. I think we could I don't think the Lantern's very good against them. Could be okay. Could be Affinity. It technically could be. But I think we should side as if it's like the most likely deck to be, which is Prowess. And what's nice about it, if it is Affinity or if it is Wizards, I think our matchups are just really, really good. Dilly Dilly with the 27 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I was a little bit worried about how often Woodland would enter tapped, but the Woodland could be played over the main deck Bog or the second Boseiju or maybe the third quarter. I think I want to keep in the third quarter though. So probably over the second Boseiju. Not exactly a win, but Mirror and Moaning Well lets you get infinite life. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's something. Maybe a paper thing. Infinite Life is kind of weird right now, where it's very good. Infinite Life actually beats almost every deck, where for a long time it kind of beat no deck. It beats Goryo's. I guess it doesn't beat Titan unless you can keep your Infinite Life combo going, because Titan can now deal infinite damage. So, but it does beat Belcher, it does beat Goryo's, it does beat Boros, it does beat Quantum Energy, it does beat Control. I don't think you need the Waste. The Waste is really important, I think. I'm not leaving home without the Wastes. But we got a full house. I don't know how many Earth cards we've used this Bloodchief run, but we could just play this to clear this ante. That's true. Doesn't beat Broodscale. Does beat Prowess though, which is another popular deck. Okay, let's keep this on the draw. I'm gonna put back the Fleshraker. Let's hope to find the land. What are my thoughts on Merfolk in current meta? Do you have a favorite recent list? I think Merfolk's unplayable. I'm just going to be quite blunt. I'm someone that has played a good amount of Merfolk. I think Merfolk from time to time is a deck that you can pick up. I think it has, I think it's good against Tron and Titan, but I think it is awful against Quantum Energy, Boros Energy. I think it's probably pretty bad against Goryo's. I think it's very bad against Prowess. Certainly a bad metagame for Merfolk. And like another thing with Merfolk is you just you haven't really had a power level increase in a long time. Maybe you could count the Harbinger Saga thing a little bit as a power level increase, but like maybe when Lorwyn comes out there'll be some new good Merfolk, but it's tough out there. It doesn't beat Jace because if you're okay, so if Goryo's runs Jace, that could win. I'm gonna play the Broodscale over the Rumble. We got 2 of them. The Misty Rainforest means this is control, not prowess, which I think is good for us overall. Could be the Teamer Woodland control deck. Online, Infinite Life beats Amulet? I guess so. Depends on whose combo's faster. I don't think there's any Merfolk card that would be printed that'd be stronger than the Merfolk cards that currently exist. Oh, it was Affinity, wow. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, right? Because the Merfolk cards that exist kind of suck. So, you know. I guess I'm going to play the Blade and just make the time walk them with the Blade, and then we have another one. They do get my drum, though. But that's what Merfolk would need, more powerful cards to keep up with the rest of the format's power creep. What is this deck? We're talking about that beats everything. Honestly, I feel like this Broodscale deck is like generally very slept on. Broodscale had a very good win rate at the PT, but it had a very low play rate. I also think that this build of Broodscale specifically is kind of like particularly appealing. We'll tap them out. So it's kind of weird that they waited for this to happen. You need 4 to 5 modern power level cards. Maybe not that many. Some, yeah. You need something. Weird game. It's hard to print a powerful Merfolk that doesn't just go into another blue deck. Yeah, it would have to be like another thing too is it would have to be a Merfolk that pays you off in a big way for playing other Merfolk, because that's kind of the problem to some extent, right? Is that there's not that many, like Sylvoon is like kind of an okay payoff, but you can just play Sylvoon without the payoff in mind. Okay, they got the Aether Spellbomb up, but let's just go for um wait, if I go equip, they bounce, I replay, I re-equip. I guess I have infinite power, but not infinite damage. They're representing Rebuke because they did an attack, so I guess we should do this instead. Well, another thing too on just like merfolk or humans or goblins, it's like the synergy of a Johnny Goblin Bombardment, the synergy of Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride. It's like those synergies are way more powerful than any other synergies you could play in one of these decks. Um, and then another thing too is it's like with the printing of Pinnacle Emissary and Birthing Ritual and Green White Gearhawk and Ranger Captain and Mockingbird, all of a sudden when you're playing some of these energy builds, like Quantum Energy especially, you are kind of playing a Kindred deck. You know, your Guide Pride Tribal, where your whole deck is just more guides and prides and ways to tutor them up and copy them. like which and that and like it's like imagine like the how much more like imagine if all of your humans were Guide of Souls and Ocelot Prides. And I don't know. I've been considering adding a land paw for the combo to make the 4 Mycospawn a payoff. Well, we were talking about that. There's not really too many good options. I think maybe shifting Woodland is something we should play, but also part of this is that we are, we're the brood scale is kind of like it's kind of like a proactive way to end the game fast, and then we kind of transition into a more bigger build. But I'm kind of open to playing a Woodland over the second Boseiju. This is actually kind of an interesting phenomenon that happens. And this always happens when a new good card draw spell is printed. So I think you saw this when the Ring was printed. You saw this when Necro was printed. You saw this when Riddler is printed. Maybe Stock Up 2. Just like whenever there's a new good card draw spell, like the card draw spells always perform worse when they first get printed because people don't know how to build the decks with them exactly. Like it takes some time to figure out what you're doing with this new like modern card draw staple. And so because it takes longer to like optimize your deck with card draw spells, they look worse because your card quality is worse. But as formats get more solved and as decks lists get hammered out, card draw spells get better, which I think is a pretty interesting aspect of I don't know, deck building, card evaluation. Something I don't really hear people talk about too much, but this has been something I've experienced. Okay, so we're on the play against the Flooded Strand. Let's get ready to rumble. Well, we're ready to rumble. I think against Flooded Strand, I'm gonna take the Icetill. Maybe that's not true. Maybe I could just take the Emrakul already. Let's take the Emrakul. We already have 4 types, and this is 2 more, you know. You like Arid Archway. Okay, so they're green-blue ritual. Interesting. That's maybe like the worst. I don't know. I guess maybe it's gonna boil down to does this Glaring Fleshraker resolve this turn? If it resolves this turn, kind of have a hard time imagining we could lose. Although maybe the Broodscale is better to cast. Let's cast the Reshaper because it's just a bit more. No, so it's not more mana efficient because we also want to play the Blade anyways. Oh yeah, Neoform Final Boss might have been bad. So they Force of Negation this, we just have the Saga coming down next turn. Maybe they have a Harbinger to stop my Saga from getting the Blade. I'm working on a Jeskai deck. I'm conflicted as to whether I want Amulet or Aetherworks Marvel to be the payoff in an artifact-based deck. I mean, you could play both. Actually, I was trying to play Guide of Souls Aetherworks Marvel off stream this week with Collector's Cage. Because you just have so many ways to tutor up a bunch of guides, but it kind of felt not that good to have this many 4-drops. And then also like some of the bigger payoffs. But might be able to figure that one out. They do find the Harbinger, which is pretty clutch for them. We find the Blade. I guess let's bait with the Reshaper. All right, we're up a game. Do I want to believe in the Bog? I don't know. Maybe. I kind of like bringing in Dismember for Oculus and Harbinger. The Cage is good. It stops their rituals. I don't want the Lantern. I really, really, really want this Vexing Bauble. I can see myself wanting to get Bog and slow down Oculus in hand. I can also see myself drawing the Bog and losing. So, I know this might sound really obvious, but Reed Duke once told me that he just always really tries to visualize how he expects the sideboard games to go, and that's not something I've ever actively done before he told me to do that. And ever since he told me that, I try to do that every single sideboard game. I just try to imagine how the game is gonna go. I'm trying to visualize it. And right now, I'm both seeing a game where I Mycospawn for Bog and I stop the Oculus, and I'm also seeing a game where I draw this and I lose because of it. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna cut the Bog. Yeah, we can play Mite for Ritual also, but we have the Cage. I think both are okay. We are on the draw here. I think I'm gonna go down a Mycospawn and 2 Stirrings. But I think the Cage and the Mite are probably enough anti-ritual stuff. Yeah, it is great advice. It's just it might not help you, it might not change anything, but they're Reed Duke is literally the king of doing things that just give him 0.1% every single time, and they all add up, and he gets just an extra percent, 2%. You know, it's he just does it every single time, and when you've been playing Magic competitively for 10 plus years, like I have, when just the fact that one sentence like that could just actually level you up, it always feels so cool. But just try to visualize how the game is going to go, visualize the plays, visualize what your opponent's going to do, visualize what you're going to do, and then let that influence your sideboarding. I think Thief for Ritual is too much. I think the Sagas let us tutor the answers to Ritual enough that we don't want to overload on that. Is Blast a consideration against Blue-White Blink? It's probably not great in this deck. I also think the Blue-White Blink matchup, you just kind of want to they're slow enough that trying to Emrakul them is kind of a big part of your plan. This is where you said you want to cut a Mycospawn, you cut a Tiller. You only have 3 Tillers. Oh. I think I said Mycospawn, but I think I wanted to cut Icetill instead. Because Mycospawn's a bit better against the counter magic and against the Cavern. Opponent said they would be right back. If anybody's got any decks, I'd love to take a look. Now's a good time. Oro up a game feels pretty good. Could maybe play this deck at the challenge. I do just think that this build is quite strong, you know. Some decks, although opponent's back immediately. Take a look at one or two. I think you probably need like one more way to find Rot Priest, like the green card that gets another Rot Priest if you already have one in play. I feel like you gotta play that 2 mana rock that gains 3 energy. That card seems like so mandatory here. The Jolted Awake seem like they only ever do anything if you have a Bauble. I guess you could legend roll the Opal. Yeah, don't seem great. Wait, why are you playing Fungus? Oh, Fungus to haste the Titania tokens. I thought that the Tanook was the better win con in these decks. You could play both. You're splashing 4 Voice of Victories on the side? I don't understand. Seems like you're wrecking your mana for like a card that seems not that good in the archetype. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, so we're on the draw. We're up against the green-blue Birthing Ritual deck on the draw. Let's keep... I think... Icetill's kind of high on the curve. I really want to get a Wastes. I really want to get a Waste this game. I think I'm going to put back the Temple then. Putting back Temple feels weird. I think we get another Broodscale. That's a lot of hoops with only Immy as a payoff. Oh, the other deck, the Marvel deck. Yeah, I've been wanting to try to play Marvel and the Collector's Cage and Guide of Souls. Like, and then a Guide of Souls deck where you have like the Shepherd / Ranger Captain. Like you just have a lot of ways to continue to tutor up your Guide of Souls and copy them. Since it seems like you can do that pretty reliably these days. And then you just have that plan for Collector's Cage because you have a bunch of cheap creatures, and then you're also making enough energy for Marvel in theory. But it seems like it's hard to fill up your deck with enough stuff that you can do that, and then also have like requisite enablers for requisite enablers, or sorry, requisite payoffs for your Cage Marvel. That's kind of where I've been stuck. What's the idea of keeping the Vista over the Temple for the Blood Moon effect? Well, Vista is better with Icetill, and yes, I want to get Waste so that I am pretty good against Harbinger. But also for Icetill. Alright, they use their second flare. Let's go and play a Haywire Mite here. 3 cards in their hand. They have a counter spell for this? They have like, they must have Stern Scolding. They must have Stern Scolding. Maybe they're just thinking for no reason. Collector, oof! Okay, that must be what they had. Well. They're going to consign this? They have consign, it seems. They replicate. For no reason, so they're just saying they don't have something else, or they're trying to incept that they don't have anything else. So we really need to draw a land next turn so we can play a 4-drop. We did bring in the Dismembers. I was thinking about Green March for Rot Priest, but the fact that it's extra less, so it's 3 mana for a 1 or 2 is so sad. I know it's sad, but don't you just pitch a card, though? Maybe that's easier said than done. Okay, let's get Vexing Bauble. And then, do I play Icetill or do I play Mycospawn? What's nice about playing Mycospawn is that if they don't have Consign, I still can have 4 mana for next turn. I think that's good enough for me. I'm actually going to name Insect. Yeah, could use. We know they've got the Oculus, so the Bog might have been really good this turn. Iceplay Saga seemed pretty good. Yeah, it's just a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about them having counter magic, but maybe with the Bauble in play, it's too hard for them to counter the Icetill anyways. They also have Birthing Ritual. It's pretty good. They get a Harbinger, so I cannot cast the Icetill anymore. Probably should have visualized better. Can't activate the Haywire Mite anyways. Probably was better to leave up the forest though. Likely going to game 3 in a second. I just realized there were 0 copies of Mox Opal in the Pro Tour Top 8. That's crazy. I don't know if it's crazy. Mox Opal has not done that well in Modern ever since Breach was banned. And I know that there's a lot of people online complaining about Mox Opal forever. But the numbers don't lie. It has not been that good in Modern. So they sack an Oculus for another Oculus. I don't really, I guess just Vigilance. Okay. It's kind of an interesting draw. I haven't played Modern or kept up with since it was banned. I'm just an old Modern player. I know how fucked up it is. Yeah, that's fair. It just for me, I guess I just haven't been surprised, but that's fair. Okay, so we're down to 7. They've got 1 card in their hand, but they got this Birthing Ritual still going. Emrakul costs 9. I have 6, gunning the spawn. So we can cast Emrakul next turn, assuming the Icetill resolves. They could have Subtlety or Flare as their last card, or Sink, I guess. They do. We're dead on board. Let's go to game 3. So definitely could have used the Bog this game. I do think Bog is worse on the draw, and we're about to be, or is it worse on the play? We're about to be on the play. I think it's okay. I do think I want 3 Icetills, 4 Mycospawns. Definitely a winnable game. I do like having really threat-heavy opening hands. I like having both of my basics. Just like having Broodscale on the play is pretty scary for them, because if they don't have Consign, like they're just really bad at getting stuff off the field. Good to have Dismember for an oof. See if they have the Consign. Can also be good to just get Consign out of their hand too. They Subtlety this, they pitch the Oracle. I guess we're going to have to put this on the bottom because we desperately need a land. Although we could maybe have kept and then just try to K command. Way should come in every pack with basic lands. Well, is there a waste shortage out there? My Uncle Tony's in waste management, I could ask. My opponent did reveal an Oculus, so maybe going to be Mycospawning for Bog. WT with the 40 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm down to 19. Not a very helpful land. Just going to graveyard that. Obviously, several options here. I think I want to play the drum first. Now we're going to have second green for the Icetill next turn. Then I think I'm just going to go Dismember the Harbinger, see if this resolves. Does resolves, and then seems like I just want to go cast Mycospawn to get the Bog, because we know one of their 3 cards is a an Oculus. So glad that we corrected ourselves. This game. Passing back. All you. So the hand is Oculus, 2 mystery cards. You know, let's actually just start off by casting the Blade. I don't know if anybody in the chat has studied the Blade like I have, but in these spots you want to cast it first. I think they're just kind of likely enough to use a piece of counter magic. Okay, so now we know their hand is It's Oculus mystery card. So if this mystery card is a counterspell for the Icetill, it is what it is, but we should be okay. Now I could go Ghost Quarter my Bog, replay the Bog maybe. I think let's go Ghost Quarter the Hedge Maze, then Ghost Quarter the Bog, then play the Bog. They play like 6 basics usually, so while we could run them out of basics this game, doesn't seem like anything we're doing anytime soon. You can also cast the Stirrings. Let's cast the Stirrings before we play the Bog. Wait, have I already played my land? No, I have not. Oh, okay. There's also a Saga we can play now. So if they counter the Stirrings, then they have 3, then they have 4, then they have 5. Okay, so let's take the Cage. Let's see if they counter the Cage. If they counter the Cage, you want a Bog. If they don't, we can play the Saga. Why is Bog important? We know they have an Oculus in their hand because they revealed it to the Coiling Oracle, so we want to make sure that they can't cast it. We graveyarded Emrakul. Would have preferred to draw one. I guess if they have another fetch, another fetch does just let them cast the Oculus. They do keep a card on top, thankfully. Maybe not thankfully. Okay. I have a Grafdigger's Cage, which stops the Birthing Ritual. It seems like they kept this on top, and it seems like they may not realize that the Cage stops the ritual. Yeah, I do not want to attack, because attacking puts another card in the yard for the Oculus. And they have erroneously sacked here. We should be good to go. So I'm just going to go Ghost Quarter them, then Bog them. Make a Saga token, and we 5-0. Nice. Pretty good. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I you know, helps when you're just playing a kind of normal great deck. But I really do think that the Icetill Emrakul stuff, it just is the way to go. I think it just is the way to go. I think I'm kind of tempted to play the Woodland over the second main deck Boseiju. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about the list. Besides that, I think that the Emrakul plan is so good in this list thanks to the Icetill, and then you also have access to a fast infinite combo that you can even move away from some in some matchups or move more into with all of your card selection. So good deck. Might play it in the challenge on Friday, might not. We won a game with Broodscale combo. We won it like 2-3-ish, I think. More so with the Icetill Emrakul stuff. But I think let's go ahead and pivot over to the next deck. Even though we trophied and it was good, I don't think we have a lot more to learn necessarily from that one, and we might play it